Good morning, everyone. Our case analysis is on Nike, and we are part of the athletic and fashion apparel industry. And our group consists of myself, Gloria, Leah, Sybil, and Emily. And today' agenda and our case analysis we'll discuss more about the Nike's background, the SWOT analysis, as well as the analysis of the situation, problem identification, alternative strategies, recommendations, and conclusion. To get to know a little bit about who Nike is, Nike was founded in 1964, and Nike is well known. It's a well-known athletic brand globally, and the company mission, vision, and values evolves, bringing inspiration, innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike's main vision is to be the most authentic and connected brand around the world, which their core value represents features such as performance, authenticity, innovation, and sustainability. And they're the main leaders for their basketball shoes, and as well as their company name was the Blue Ribbon Sports, but in 1971 they changed their names into Nike, which represents as the Greek goddess of victory. And some of the most influential sponsorship that we had throughout the decades within Nike will be Michael Jordan, who revolutionized the brand, as well as we have Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, and currently LeBron James. Those sponsorship has created this cultural change and exposed Nike company for the athletic fashion wear, and now it became part of pop culture for the new generation, which is really great for their company model and vision there, which they're trying to head towards to. And now we're gonna head towards the SWOT analysis, which Emily's gonna go ahead and talk a little bit further more about.
Nike has an impressive growth with their business model with two functional strategies: creation and innovation on state-of-the-art athletic shoes. The athletic sponsorship, such as basketball or soccer, has a great synergy competing in the industry in mature business life cycle. Following a non-priced competition strategy to increase the market share and profitability, their pursuit of the creation with continuous innovation on state-of-the-art athletic shoes gave them many opportunities in corporate and global markets. Going into analysis of situation, Nike is leading the profit and producing a superior and a high fashion statement as a part of lifestyle. As a result, production differentiation made by Nike, producing a varied range of products, their rivals or competitors are influenced to initiate a new range of products, such as gaining popularity on athleisure wear or social responsibility awakenings. Entering a new market segment by purchasing other footwear companies like Converse, Hurley International for extended and complemented product lines resulted in a competitive advantage, reducing the significant threat from other rival brands. Nike has changed the industry competition positively on more of new product development, setting the pace for other companies to grow and also threatening Nike in the US and global market. As the brand name of Nike continues to grow and soar to other companies in the industry, Nike should focus on brand development to maintain the increasing levels of competitors. Now I'm going to pass over to Sybil for identifying problems.
I'm going to go ahead and jump into the problem identification. The most important issues affecting Nike is that Nike is falling behind tapping into the 18 and under crowd. With branding and marketing, it is very important that the 18 and under crowd is being tapped into because they are one of the biggest buyers of the athletic fashion apparel company. The CEO, John, worries how Nike will continue to grow its competitive edge in the industry. This is one of the biggest ways that Nike can become more successful in making sure that they're working with the 18 and under crowd in social media platforms, marketing, and branding. The second issue is that Nike heavily relies on athletic endorsements to promote its brand. This results in a lot of revenue being lost and also issues resulting from media, PR, and other issues that result from endorsing in athletes. With this, it also brings an issue of underrepresenting, again, that 18 and under crowd. This revenue can be used in many different unique ways to expose their brand more exponentially and globally. The third issue is for Nike to tap into this technology age. CEO worries that they will not stay competitive and continue to grow, especially because companies like Lululemon, Adidas, and Under Armour are really connecting their products with their technology. These three issues are really important in making sure that the firm is not being affected. If these issues are not talked about or fixed, then it can really result in affecting the future growth of the company and also the short-term and long-term strategies. I'm now going to pass it over to Gloria to go over the alternative strategies.
Alternative strategies that our team recommends is to endorse smaller social media influencers and to develop more technology with Internet of Things, or collaborate with tech companies to promote their brand. Endorsing social media influencers can be more cost effective than endorsing athletes. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, he said at $1 billion lifetime deal. However, if Nike was to get deals with micro or mega influencers, that can range between $100 to about $10,000 per marketing deal. We have seen this in the last few years that is more of a trend, and they can rely less on these big endorsements and tap into the Gen Z population at the same time. Now, the second alternative strategy is to develop items with Internet of Things tech and collaborate with companies like Apple. They did collaborate with them, and they had an item, the Fuel Band. However, they didn't see it eye to eye with it due to it not meeting the strategies that the company wanted to continue with. So they decided not to move forward with it. However, it was successful, and if they continue to develop more of these items, these tech items, it will allow them to have a presence in the tech industry. Now I'm gonna pass it over to Leah to go over the recommendations.
Going through this case study, our team really saw three major recommendations that we could present to Nike. The first being using already their exposure and global recognition to now partner with fashion designers. We see this already happening with Adidas. This past year in Rihanna's lingerie fashion show, Adidas was the sponsor. Well, I'm sorry, not the sponsor, but they were featured in her show. So the dancers are wearing Adidas shoes instead of Nike shoes. This was a really, really huge missed opportunity for Nike, for them to really hone into the fashion runway market. And in addition to not even being in it, they haven't really been able to collaborate with the fashion designers, making this new athleisure wear trend even more of a launching off point for Nike. However, Adidas, Lululemon, and even Under Armour are already tapping into the athleisure wear trend and making it more into street fashion to leverage their athleisure wear and to leverage their athletic model, right? So definitely not being having that runway exposure is really hindering their growth, especially within the fashion segment that they're really, really missing right now. Second is to leverage that strength within the fashion community into the Gen Z population. Through the case study, we see that Nike isn't really gaining the same level of exposure and popularity within the Gen Z population. And one of those reasons is because they are not the fashion brand, right, that we're known from them. Yes, they are number one in athleisure, in athletic fashion apparel, but they're not the number one with runway collaboration. So that's really where they're missing a big part of their younger crowd. And the third is we really, really suggest that Nike, any type of cultural shifts and changes that they're making within organization, they really, really need to think about making this public. And this is really just because now with Gen Zs and millennials, they want to shop ethically and they want to shop and put money in a brand that is making long-term success for social justice and civil rights. We see this happening with, for example, Ben and Jerry's. When the 2020 Civil Rights Awakening happened with the George Floyd protests, they were one of the #1 companies on the front line, on their social media, displaying their anger about the social issues that were happening in the world. And Nike can really leverage that. We do see some very strong allegations making upon their leadership. So any positive cultural change of diversity, inclusion, anything that is really promoting ethical brand, they really, really need to make that public. Whether that be in social media, whether that be with just in their board, they really need to start making that communication because transparency really helps build genuine brands, and genuine brands are able to retain better customer retention. So to conclude our presentation, we all know Nike, the swoosh is very iconic, but that gap between them being the highest performer and Adidas, Nike, Adidas, Lululemon, and Under Armour, that gap is slowly closing because the competitors are finding ways that Nike isn't the most competitive in, and they're building upon that. So Nike really needs to tap into competitors' strengths and whether replicate it or find new ways to really boost their exposure in positive environments and positive communities. Furthermore, with their sponsorships, a lot of athletes, they are celebrities. And what do celebrities have? They have allegations put on them. They have, they say what they want in the media. So Nike really has to be careful and strategically place their endorsements because, like I said, Gen Zs and millennials, they want to shop ethically. And if they're supporting a celebrity who maybe won't speak on social justice, that might not be the best move for them. So they really need to think strategically and find the correct people to represent their brand. Whether that be small or big, they have to find the right people to really ethically support their social responsibility statements. And lastly, any type of cultural changes, whether it be removement of leadership, if we find that some of their leadership, right, they call Nike the boys club. So they have misogynistic undertones throughout their lineage of culture, whether that be leadership changes or diversity and inclusion training, whatever it is that they want to implement, make it public, make it known that they are doing the right thing and they're moving in a more ethical direction. Because once they're a more ethical company, then they're able to build a more robust business model and lasting them through the Gen Z, through the millennial population, because they are now the #1 buying power. And then through that, they can build more long-term profits. And that concludes our presentation. So thank you so much for listening. And yeah, we hope you have a good one.